Welcome back, everyone. Next, we have the OLB Group, Inc. It trades on the NASDAQ under the symbol OLB and is a diversified fintech e-commerce merchant services provider and Bitcoin crypto mining enterprise. The company's e-commerce platform delivers cloud-based merchant services for a comprehensive digital commerce solution to over 10,000 merchants in diversified market sectors in all 50 states. Please welcome its president and CEO, Ronny Yakov, and the Vice President, Patrick Smith. Welcome, everyone.
Hello, Anna. Thank you for having us. We are a fintech company, and we have also digital assets, cryptocurrency mining, and crypto payments. Today, let me read quickly the forward-looking statement that is here. Today, we have over $1.3 billion in transactions, 500 million transactions on a yearly basis, and around 10,500 merchants that are diversified over multiple industries on all 50 states.
This is some of the investment highlights. Diversified revenue from fintech and Bitcoin mining. You can see that the revenue increase this year for 2022, at the end of 2022, was 30.4 million compared to 16.7 million in 2021. So we had very good growth in 2022. The market valuation right now is with less than 15 million. We're trading at a 0.5 price to sales ratio. So we feel that our stock is very low. We do not have any debt. We're going to increase revenues from organic growth, some acquisitions. We got some new partnerships that we're working on. Talking about the mining revenue from 1,000 ASIC miners, which we own, is projected at $300,000 monthly with a Bitcoin price of $30,000. The fintech and Bitcoin mining projections together is going to be around 35 to 40 million for 2023. The DMint spinoff is going to be spun off in 2023, and the dividends will be dividended to the shareholders of OLB.
Thank you, Patrick. Today, our main focus and most of the revenues are coming from the fintech segment, and we have our OmniSoft application services that are e-commerce, mobile commerce, and also point-of-sale systems. We have our gateway that is Secure Pay, that is certified with the major processors like Tezos and Fiserv. We have the crowdfunding, and we have events that is the merchant services. As we are focusing and continuing to focus on crypto acceptance, crowdfunding, we're focusing on bringing ATM machines that are bitlicensed, and also the events that we're focusing on events capital this year, basically bringing additional revenues and lending to the small SMB merchants in this respect. The two subsidiaries that we opened in sometime on 2022 is the BitLicensing, and that's in process again. It's still in the process, as I mentioned earlier, conversations. That's a process that would take a long time, and it would take several years to do that. It's also the money transmission licenses that are essentially important, sending money between states. And DMint is the subsidiary that we just launched in Selmer, Tennessee, with the location that we purchased the location itself. Patrick, maybe you want to talk about the structure here.
Sure. This is for DMint. The building that we purchased in Selmer was a 15,000 square foot building. It's a part office, part warehouse. Currently, right now, it has 5 megawatts of power, but we're actually in the process of getting it moved up to 20. So right now, we can run 1,500 machines there. We have 1,000 of our own machines that should be up and running pretty soon. With the increase of the 15, we should go up to 20 total megawatts, which will allow us to run 5,000 machines. The majority of the energy that we are getting is also clean energy. It comes from solar and hydro.
Okay. The new ventures that we're focusing late last year and this year is really focusing on a space that is the underbanked population and the bodega industries and convenience stores. We have a potential of getting one distributor that has access to 32,000 bodega locations and our 10,000 merchants that would enable us to do the point of sale system, the prepaid gift cards and credit cards, also to sell SIM cards, video games, and transfer money between states and countries through a variety of partners. Also, the mobile transfer. We plan also to focus on giving the ability for micro lending and cash advance to small bodegas. That's pretty much the way the company is being structured. And we're establishing the ticket platform in the merchant services, including NFTs, the payment gateway that is our secure pay gateway, new facility in the Selma, Tennessee, the bit licensing, and creating blockchain for crowdfunding.
And this is kind of just to recap the 2022 financials. We had an increase from 16.7 million in revenue to 30.4 rounded up. That's about a 1.8 increase. Gross profit increased about 2 times. It went from 3 million in 2021 to 7.2 million in 2022. The net income is a negative 8.1 million. You can see that. The majority of that is due to our increase in the depreciation and amortization. The depreciation is related to the ASIC miners that we purchased for the Bitcoin mining, and the amortization increased due to an acquisition that we did at the end of 2021. So that was the majority of it. With everything said, our adjusted EBITDA is still a positive. It's not much, but it's a positive right at $100,000 for the year. Again, we have 30.4 million run rate for 2022 is what we did. We had 1.5 million in cash assets on the books at the end of the year, 0 debt, total assets of around 3.6 million on the books right now.
38.6.
38.6, I apologize.
Okay, and that's us, myself, Patrick Smith, and Rachel Bolts. And thank you, everyone. Now we open to any questions that you have.
Great job, gentlemen. All right, let's talk about some questions about DMint. So when does OLB expect to declare a record date for the spinoff of DMint?
Okay, the answer to that is we're planning to file before the filing of the first Q for filing with the S1. As soon as we get close to the clearing from the SEC, pretty much 30 days before, we're going to set up the record date and give notice to all the shareholders.
And so how many Bitcoin machines are up and running as of today in Tennessee?
We have majority of them running, and we anticipate probably within the next 45 days to have the 1,000 machines running. The delay to that is due to the transformers that are on the way here.
And so you say there'll be a capacity of 5,000 machines in the Tennessee facility. Have you been receiving interest from other miners looking for OLB to host their machines?
Yes, and we're still debating, should we purchase our own machines or should we do hosting? It's really about economics here, and I'll let Patrick explain that.
I mean, it's just more economical. Once you buy the machine, it pays for itself fairly quickly within about 12 months. And then even less than that sometimes, then it's your machine and you don't have to split any of the revenue. But I mean, that's not to say we're opposed to hosting. We're still looking at both sides.
Wonderful. So will OLB retain some ownership in DMint after the spin-off to shareholders?
Well, we're going to spin it off pro rata to all the shareholders.
Okay.
We're going to have some debt owed to us, but yes.
In regards to the merchant services, what's the potential for the bodegas and convenience stores business in terms of revenue?
Okay. In terms of revenue, we have on the pipeline of 2 acquisitions. They're not been finalized yet, and there's no LOI signed, but we are in a very advanced stage. Once we close those transactions, it would be one of them would be close to $8 million in revenues immediately, and additional pretty much any bodega that we sign up for the merchant services. We anticipate at least to have a goal of the first year minimum of 1,000 bodegas signed up. Average bodega is doing around $500,000 to $1 million in a yearly volume in transactions.
And can you talk a little bit about some preliminary guidance for revenue in 2023?
Well, we're definitely anticipating to have a much larger revenues than 2022 as just organically. With acquisitions, we definitely might even double itself.
And regarding insider and company stock buybacks, is the company still buying back shares under its buyback program?
We stopped buying end of the year, and we're going to start again buying since now we can purchase. So definitely insiders and the company are going to start buying again.
And what are the total amount of shares?
We definitely believe that the company is undervalued, so it's a good buy for everyone.
And so what are the total amount of shares purchased in the market to date?
We purchased over 100,000 as a corporate, and I purchased myself over 100,000, and Patrick purchased as well.
Okay, so insiders have been buying. Does management expect to continue buying?
Yes.
Great. And when will crowd ignition contribute to revenues and earnings?
We hope. I mean, crowd ignition, it's pretty much a treasury, I would say, Fabergé egg, because with the licenses that we have, doing the bit licenses and other licenses that we're implementing, it would be very valuable in the future.
Well, let's speak about the future. Does the company anticipate buying more Bitcoin mining machines before the DMint spinoff?
Again, it depends on the economics. Either we're going to do hosting or buy more machines.
And so what is the management most excited about for the immediate future of OLB?
We're excited on both of them, the spin out of DMint, and also we're excited about the bodega business. It's a great opportunity that we definitely anticipate.
And can you talk about any plans for future brand improvements, like updating the website, rebranding the fintech division after the DMint spinoff?
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be totally clear separation between the two entities.
And talk about how you're going to restructure your board, bring in some new expertise.
Yes, definitely. That's pretty much on the agenda. We have enough time to digest that and find talent for those things.
And so with DMint having the capacity to add more than 4,000 machines, what is the company's strategy for filling those spots?
Well, the strategy is, as I mentioned earlier, it's either we're going to buy our own machines, that the economics are pretty favorable for the price that we pay for electricity, or we're just going to do kind of temporarily hosting for other machine owners just to pay out for our machines. But the ultimate goal is us owning the machines.
Okay, well, what about lease or host to other mining companies, or just buying your own machines? And talk about the pros and cons of each option.
Well, I mean, economically, it's much better to buy the machines than doing a hosting lease.
So that's the route you're going to go. And so what is the all-in sustained cost to mint one Bitcoin?
Okay.
All-in sustained cost right now is about $8,000.
Okay.
That is the majority of the cost. I mean, there's some costs associated with employees that are around and personnel, but that's minor comparing to the electricity cost.
And so does the production cost per Bitcoin go down as you put more machines on the line?
No, because I mean, it's still the electricity is going to be the same static price. We'll just print more Bitcoins at the same expense.
Okay.
And we have agreement for 5 years. So pretty much we have a price guarantee for 5 years.
Wonderful. Well, we have lots more questions, but we are out of time. So would you like to give some closing remarks?
Sure. I mean, as I mentioned, we are definitely undervalued stock. It's a good buy, especially when we do a spin-off of the subsidiary. It would be a great opportunity to own one share at OLB and owning another share at DMint for the same price.
Wonderful. Well, we thank you so much for joining us again with this update, and we look forward to continuing following your progress in the future. Thanks for being back on the Emerging Growth.
Thank you, Anna.
Have a great day.
All right. Thank you too. Okay, everyone, what a great day we've had. We want to thank all of our presenters. Now, no, in just a second, you're going to be redirected to the registration page for our next conference in 2 weeks. So reserve your spot early. On behalf of all of us at the Emerging Growth Conference, I'd like to thank our presenters and attendees for making this such a great success. Remember that a complete replay of this conference will be on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Emerging Growth Conference. Subscribe there and follow us on Twitter at Emerging Growth C. I'm Anna Berry. On behalf of myself and everyone who made this event possible, we wish you a great rest of your week. May it be successful, healthy, and happy. We'll see you again soon.